Hi there, Rockstar Quilters, and welcome to the first video for our Return to Simpler Times block of the month. Block 1, right behind me. That one. Yeah, there we go. It's hard doing things reverse. And also, added bonus, our setting blocks. Now, I've constructed this so you work on your setting blocks a little bit at a time, as well as each block that you get every month, because the way it was laid out in the pattern, all the dominoes blocks here were at the end. Dominoes blocks, there we go. We're at the end, and I'm like, who wants to make like 13 blocks at the end of a block of the month? Let's spread it out. So, in your kit, in your handy dandy kit, along with your handouts, and all your handouts that you got this way, they're also available on the website in your My Account area when you are logged in. So you also have the PDF versions of these so that you can print them out anytime. If you lose a page, you can print off another page. You'll have that access forever. And if you get so far down the line you decide you want to do it again, there you go. You've already got it. Okay, so you've got your handy dandy printouts. And what I've done for the domino blocks to break it down is the way the strips are cut. You should have enough to make about 3 or 4 of these. I didn't quite figure it out. It was more than one. So you could do a whole pile of these until you run out of the fabric that's included in your kit, and you'll be ahead of the game. Or you can do one this month, and one next month, and one the next month. And I'm working a month ahead of you, so when you need more fabric for more domino setting blocks, you'll get that kit in the next month. So you'll continuously keep making some as you go. So that's up to you. You can do like 3 or 4 of these blocks now, or you can just do one a month along with whatever block it is that month. So today we're just going to talk about some tips along with your stuff. And I guess since I just talked about the dominoes block, one of the things you're doing is sewing the fabrics in big long strips like this. This is the middle one with the yellow, and this is the outside edges. So you've got big long strips like this. And then you cut your strip sets off of these, and then sew your 9 patch together. So if I'm doing a lot, or maybe if I'm only doing some, I like to cut 2 layers at once. So instead of laying this out and then cutting, I'll usually fold it, and I'll show you that in a second. So here we are at the cutting table, and we have our strip sets. And what I've done here is I've taken them. It doesn't matter if you do it right sides together or wrong sides together. And I've just layered them like this, nice and even. I make sure everything's lined up. And then I will cut what I need, however much it says to cut, in my directions, which I will double check. Right. So that way I've got, and I am using the marks off my table here instead of off my ruler, which is okay as long as I'm consistent. If I do this every time, they're going to be the same. So there, I've cut 2 at once. Ta-da! And it's okay if it's a little janky here because we're going to trim these blocks later. So I don't want you to stress too hard if it doesn't quite work out when you do this and it's like wiggly or something, because we're going to square these up and trim them later, so everything will be great when we're done. That was easy. Probably easier than you thought. So for the dominoes, not the dominoes. So for the marbles block, which is block number 1, make sure you follow the directions and not just the pictures. The steps do get you to square up every block or mini block as you go. So in the end, you get a nice square block. And that's really the secret to getting a nice close to square and close to perfect one when you're done. Not a little wiggly like mine. You can see I had to ease some stuff in here. And some of the pieces that are in your kit will be close to what you need. You should, even if I've cut them the exact size that it says you need for here, you should still double check because there are minor cutting differences from person to person. So you just want to make sure everything is copacetic and all nice and even. There's a lot of half square triangles in this block, and for mine, I had a roll of the 3-inch finished half square triangles from Triangles on a Roll. See? I had a lot of these left over from the last time we did a block of the month, which was a whole pile of star blocks. If you also joined us with that, it was flying geese and half square triangles all the way down. Yay! So these are optional. You're not required to use these. You don't have to go out and buy a roll. I didn't look ahead to see how much more we would use these on the rest of the blocks. I just had them and decided to see if they would work, and they did. So if you have them, they do work with what's in this kit for this month. Just if you like making your half square triangles a little bit more perfect. But your regular method where you do the 2 squares and you draw the line, that works just fine. So my other tip for the marbles block, I will show you this in a second, is the block in the middle. Now, if you are new to quilting, sometimes you might notice, or maybe if you're not, you just haven't noticed yet, sometimes a big block like this will be made up of smaller blocks, not just the half square triangles, but this block in the middle is sometimes called diamond in a square or the economy block. It's just in the middle this time. And the way they construct this, the way this is constructed, see right there? Yeah, you got to sew them triangles on and then flip it open and hope it all lines up. In this case, it is a little bit oversized. You can kind of square it. But to help you along the way, I have, of course, a tip for you. Let's move on over to the cutting table. Well, we're not going to cut. I mean, we're just going to show you this tip, but yeah. So for this, what I've done with our middle square here, we're supposed to so we'll have our 2 triangles sewn onto our middle white square here. And the thing is, you just put them there, pin them if you like, sew these lines, and then flip them open. But to help you get them where they're supposed to go, I took my white square here, and you can see some fold lines. I've just pressed it lightly to find the center this way and pressed it lightly that way as well, so that when we line up here, we can get this point lined up right with that fold line. So we know that when we sew this on right along here and we flip that open, that point's going to be lined right up as a square, and we can do that the same here. Just flip that open, line that up, and carry on. And then when we do the other 2 sides, same thing. Super easy. Whew. All right, that concludes our handy dandy tips for the Return to Simpler Times block of the month. Block 1, marbles. I lost mine. Has anybody found them yet? And our setting blocks, dominoes. I've seen some of your blocks already, and they're super cute, even though we're all using the same fabric, except for the people who are using their own. Haven't seen those yet. But some of you have shown me your blocks that you've made, and they're still cute, even though they're, like I said, even though we're using the same fabric. How did that happen? Who knows? Anyway, we're all having fun, and I will catch you again for the April block.